Hello, this is a film in two parts. The first film will be going for the information that you may need about me and my history, those that don't know me. And it's about the Bukiwaza Certification that I've decided now to award to those around the world who wish for me to do so. I haven't rehearsed this, so I may have a few pauses, and please bear with me. I started in 1973, but in 1975 I found that you could buy Saito Sensei's 5 volumes, and also he made a set of cine films accompanied with some tapes that had the voice, and you had to align the voice in a cassette with the cine films to get them to match. So I was studying from 4th Q to 2nd Dan in the UK under Saito Sensei's films and books. I then met him in 1983 in New Zealand, and then I formed an organisation in 1992 with his request for me to become the UK ambassador on behalf of him. So that's a brief history of that, and that means I'd been training under him for 27 years, but physically twice a year, every year, I would go somewhere around the world on a seminar and train with him for 19 of those years until his passing. He classed me as an Iwama student once when I was in America, when he asked for everybody to go out who were his Iwama students, and I stayed behind, and he quickly shouted and told me to get out there. In the break, he got someone to translate to say that he classed me as an Iwama student because I followed him around the world, and he said not even the Iwama students do that. They train there and see him there. So that was a great honour for me to think that he thought that much of me, and I thought that much of him. He was like a fatherly figure, but he was also very frightening as a master, because you always wanted to look up to him, get the techniques right, and if you didn't, you got his wrath, and he would shout at you constantly until you did. Moving on, I have his weapon scrolls. He decided at one point that he would do his own taijutsu certification, and he would make his weapon scrolls. This is just one of them. This is the 4th one, and I obtained the first 3 in different places around the world, and he would post them to me. But he was giving me my taijutsu Dan grades, and when I took my 4th Dan, he asked me, do I want Aikikai or Iwama Ryu, and I said, Sensei, you're my master, I'll have Iwama Ryu. So he said, when it came to my 5th Dan over the years, that the only way I could get my 5th Dan is I would have to, at this stage, go to Iwama. So in 1994, August 1994, I went to Iwama. After a few days, he said, I'm going to test you for your weapons Bukiwaza certification. This he done, and he awarded me the level 4 he said that he personally would stay up all night to write them out, because within this scroll there are secrets that are handed down from master to student, and these are called the true secrets. There's so much detail in these scrolls that you wouldn't believe it in a conversation. It's piece by piece and telling you many things that you would never even consider while doing the kumitachis, let's say. While I was there for 3 weeks, on the last week he said that he'd been looking at me because we would do 4 hours training a day, and there would be 2 hours in the morning and they would be weapons, and then in the afternoons taijutsu. He'd been looking at me, and in the last week he awarded me my 5th and last Bukiwaza scroll. But we were about to go off from Iwama to Italy, and then to do a seminar, and then from Italy to the UK, Birmingham, to do a seminar that I was running with him. Because he has to stay up all night to write these personally, he said he was getting tired and he might get a student to write it and him telling what to write. Now, you don't have to believe me in this, but you won't find my name on any list saying that I've got the 5th and last scroll. It's like, as far as that goes, I'm now a master where I can test people and I can award people the certification, because this is the permission that the last scroll gives you. Now, why am I not on the list? Well, first of all, there's 9 others on the list, and I was hoping over the years they may have done it themselves, because it's a great honour to hold these. Just think, out of all the Aikidoka in the world, there's only 9 people listed as holding the 5 scrolls. I wish there was a 10th and that's my name on it, but I'm not. Now here's the reason why. He came up to me and tested me and said, you've got the Bukiwaza scroll, but as we're about to go to Italy and then England, can I post it to you? At the same time I said, Sensei, I don't have any more money while I'm here to pay you. Can I pay you in England? He agreed. We came to England, Italy, then England. I paid him for the seminar and I paid him the money for my 5th and final scroll. I never received the scroll. Now, you may think this is a bit stupid, but I respected him so highly, and it is respect, it's not fear, but it's like a fear that I couldn't demand or say, Sensei, can you tell me where my scroll's got to? You may think this is stupid, you may even think I'm lying, but I'm not. I have 2 witnesses to the fact that I did have it. So I do know a fact that, and I'm not decrying or putting my sensei down, but I know that many people who got 1st, 2nd and 3rd scrolls that tested in different places around the world never received their scrolls either. So you can only take my word for it. I was hoping that one of the other 9 would do this, but they haven't. Now, why am I doing it? Well, I ran a dojo, personal dojos, from 1982 to 2014. I would teach 5, 6 days a week, all that period. I now only teach seminars and occasional in Cambridge. But when I was in Iwama, mid-morning, a Japanese student come running over to me when I was tidying in the dojo. It's called the Shockado. It means the small kitchen. It's connected to the dojo no Sensei's house. Sensei wants to have a word. He's coming over. Please stay here. Sensei came over in his little braces and gardening clothes, and he looked at me and he said, "Tony, the North America is okay and they're safe with mine and O Sensei's Aikido, but would you give me your word that you will keep mine and O Sensei's Aikido safe in Europe?" Well, there's a lot of good teachers in Europe, but I gave him my word. I didn't realise until he passed away what a heavy burden that is upon me. So I've been sitting, waiting all these years before I actually acted, hoping that someone would do something. Now, why is the time right now to do something about this? I'm getting older, and what he said was, there's a lot of people who haven't trained under me for a long time, and I see that they've been learning from my books and their films, and they've got a lot of points missing. And he was very angry with this. He said they're destroying my and O Sensei's Bukiwaza, the weapons. So please keep them safe, Tony, and do what you can to develop and make the weapons secure. So that's why I'm now decided to do this. There'll be people criticise me, but it's not O Sensei's way. We shouldn't be criticising each other, but there will be criticism. But I hope you've enjoyed listening to this story. The next film will be on the terms and what I will be looking for and how I will respond to those anywhere in the world who wish to take part in the Bukiwaza certification. You don't have to follow an Iwama school. You just have to be an individual who likes to do the Iwama weapons, and I will look at you, and if passed, you will have a certificate with my authority that I'm happy for you to teach the weapons. Thank you for your time.